Hello children, I hope all of you are fine and doing very well. Welcome once again to your English literature class. So today we are going to continue with the exercises of your poem Foreign Lands. Quickly get ready with your pencils and erasers. In my last session I had told you that this poem has to be learnt by heart. So we will not be doing the question and answers in your notebook. Just for your knowledge, I am going to discuss the answers with you. In case you want to write, we will write down in your textbook itself. Okay. So open your books on page number 75. As you can see, making connections. So you have to connect with the poem. Fill in the blanks with words from the poem. The river is compared to a dash for the sky. So if you remember the poem nicely and if you have heard about the explanation, you remember I had told you the sky, yes, the river is a looking glass for the sky. We'll write down looking glass for the sky, since you have to write the word from the poem. So you will not write mirror, you will write looking glass. Okay. Always follow the instructions. We know the speaker is a child because he uses the word dash to describe himself. So in the second line he says, no, who should climb but little me. Little means he is small, he is a child. You will write little in your blank. Number C. Dash is a word that is a synonym for further. Father and father, you got no? Father and father, I should see. So F-A-R-T-H-E-R. It's a synonym for further. Both the words synonym means what? They have the same meaning. But there is one difference between further and father. What is that? Father indicates distance. Okay. It indicates, it tells about distance. But further tells you about more and a lot of other things. Okay. Father is specially used for indicating distance. This is the one difference between these two words. Number D. Because the river seems to crease, fold and unfold, the adjective dash has been used to describe it. So you must, when we were reading the poem, I had told you, it's given there, dimpling river. Yes, all of you can see in your book it's given, no? Dimpling river. So dimpling is the adjective which is used for the poem. You will write down D-I-M-P-L-I-N-G. Okay. I hope all of you have got that. The rivers start in mountains and end in seas. So if we call a river young when it is in the mountains, when I was explaining the poem, I had told you this also. Yes, the river starts in the mountains, so it is very young and finally it grows, no, it comes down, it becomes old by the time it reaches the sea. So rivers start in mountains and they end in seas. So if we call a river young when it is in the mountains, because there it is starting, no, when you are small, you are a child, you are young, then you become old. Same way the river, when it reaches the sea, it is old. So you can call it old or grown up. Both the words are given in the poem. Okay. Grown up is given in your poem. So you will write grown up. Okay. So we will proceed to the reference to context. I held the trunk with both my hands and looked abroad on foreign lands. So these are the last two lines of the first stanza. Okay. Who has climbed the tree? Yes, a child. We read that, no? The beginning, the introduction of the poem itself tells you this is the story of a child who has climbed the top of a tree. So you can write in with your pencils, a child. So has climbed the tree is from the question itself. A child has climbed the tree. And what tree is it? The first line of the poem itself gives you the answer. It is a cherry tree. It is a cherry tree. Number 2, what are the foreign lands that can be seen from the top of the tree? So what are the foreign lands that can be seen from the top of the tree? So foreign lands means, underline foreign lands, are the lands from a different place. Generally foreign lands are lands from a different place. So are these really foreign lands? Do you think they are really foreign lands? No. I had told you, when I was telling about the poem, The Child. No, these are not really foreign lands. So what are they? No, they aren't foreign lands. Why? Because they are all around the speaker's house. There's place over there, you can write, no, they aren't foreign lands because they are all around the speaker's house. Okay. This is the answer of the first part. Now the second part is, why does the speaker say they are? Now we are telling they are not foreign lands. So why does the speaker say they are foreign lands? Yes. The speaker says so because he has not seen these lands before. The speaker says so because he has not seen these lands before. He never climbed a tree, so this is the first time he's climbing the tree. So these lands are foreign for him. Okay. I will just repeat the answer. No, they aren't foreign lands because they are all around the speaker's house. The speaker says so because he has not seen these lands before. We come to the next context. If I could find a higher tree, farther and farther I should see. So the poet says, if he could find a higher tree. This is your fourth stanza, okay? He could have seen more far away. So why does the child wish to find a higher tree? Why he wants to climb the higher tree? See, he wants to find a higher tree, farther and farther, so that he can see further, okay? He can see farther. So the child wishes. Your question is why does. So it will be the child wishes to find a higher tree so that he can see further. The child wishes to find a higher tree so that he can see further. What does the child wish to see from the top of the higher tree? What does he want to see? You will go to your poem, the third line, my dear children. The third line in the fourth paragraph, you can underline. The third line of the fourth paragraph. The child, again we'll write wishes. The child wishes to see where the grown-up river slips. Where the grown-up river slips. It is given in the third line of your fourth stanza. Okay. The child wishes to see where the grown-up river slips. And why do you think the word father is repeated? Father and father. So he is very eager, no? Very much he wants to see. So the word father is repeated from the question. The word father is repeated to show the child's longing to see far off lands. To show the child's longing. He wants very badly to see. Okay, so we will write to show the child's longing to see far off lands. The last question, would you like to travel and see foreign lands? Obviously, most of you will say yes. And what would you like to see? Now this depends on you, which place you are writing. So according to the place, you will write about the beauty of that place. You want to go to London, you want to see the London Bridge. Yes, as children you have read, London Bridge is falling down. So if you want to write US, why you want to go to Disneyland over there, maybe you can write that. You want to go to Egypt, what do you want to see there over there? Okay, so this is your choice. So just for your you want to learn about places, you can find out for yourself. We turn to page number 76. Now see, in the last stanza of the poem, the child imagines a land where playthings come alive. Okay, this is for your enjoyment and to enhance your creativity. So the child imagines that all the toys, they have come alive. Now you children have to imagine that you are a toy that has come alive. Write a short verse about yourself as a toy. Here is a sample for you to read. So you're not writing an entire poem, a small verse. So you will imagine that you are a toy. Now which toy you are, you write a poem for yourself. Write down very nice poems. I will be collecting from you all your poems, okay? Write in your textbook only. No need to write here and there. Write in your textbook. Now see the example, the sample that is given to you. I am a bright red and blue train. I wonder how fast I can go on my track. I hear the thunder, I hear the rain. I want to travel to the moon and back. I am a bright red and blue train. Okay, you see here, when I was explaining the poem rhyming scheme, see in this poem you will see alternate lines. Train, rain and train. Alternate lines are rhyming, no? So here your rhyming scheme will become A, B, A, B, A. Isn't it? Train, rain and train will become A and track and back will become B. Now here it is given. You have to write on your own. So you can write, I am a dazzling new wonder car. I wonder what my driver does. I hear the horns and all the fuss. I want to fly away too far. I am a dazzling new wonder car. This was my creation, okay? So you will create some nice poem, a nice verse for yourself, and then you mark the rhyming scheme and check how you have done, okay? Now see below they have again given you a poem by Robert Louis Stevenson. It's a very famous poem of his. It tells about the imagination of young people. Given below is a poem which describes a young person who had to stay in bed. Imagines. Let us read it aloud. So this one is in bed and imagining. We see the poem. Dark brown is the river, golden is the sand. It flows along forever with trees on either hand. Green leaves are floating, castles of the foam. Boats of mine are boating, we will all come home. On goes the river and out past the mill, away down the valley, away down the hill, away down the river 100 miles or more. Other little children shall bring my boats ashore. Okay, read the poem, try to understand, enjoy, have a good time. Mark the rhyming scheme of this poem also. Okay, this way you will learn. I'll just give you example. For the first stanza, dark brown is the river. River is A. Golden is the sand. So river and sand are not matching. No? Sand becomes B. It flows along forever. River ever A. And sand, and the last one, hand is B. A, B, A, B. Okay. Rest you do on your own and have fun. Enjoy yourselves. Have a very good time and take good care of yourselves. All of you, be safe. Thank you.